welcome to Iconoclasting. And today we have Rita Richa, our Chief Storytelling Officer with Reignite Media. Hi, Rita. Tell everybody a little bit about Reignite Media. Tell me what you do, all of those things.
Yeah, thank you for asking, Sarah. I'm really excited to be on the podcast. So, Reignite Media is what I like to call a boutique agency. We help enterprise and B2B brands tell their stories that convert into sales. I call it story-driven sales. Mainly, we do that through podcasting and podcast production, but we've expanded into executive coaching for on camera, presenting for video, YouTube channels, really anything in 2026 where you're telling a long form story that then needs to be, put on the internet throughout that process, on social media or all of that. We're really here to help. And it all started because of a very unconventional journey that I'm excited to talk to you about and share with you and our listeners today.
Can you tell folks you have a podcast that's really, really interesting? Do you want to
Thank
go into
you.
that a little bit?
Yes, I would love to. I have a podcast called Bippity Boppity Business. My family is Middle Eastern, and my dad to this day cannot say the name of the podcast. And my mom is too, and he's like, the boopity, habibi, I don't know the name of your show. Anyways, but it is just like it sounds. Bippity Boppity is like Disney, and it's all about teaching business leaders and brands how to find the wonder in their work and create storytelling magic in their content inspired by how Disney does it. Because if they've been around for over 100 years and have an iconic business and personal brand with a founder that's had a story and all of those things, why can't we too, right? And as a Disney fan, that was my entry into better understanding business because I'm from Florida. I have an annual pass. I go to the parks all the time. But once I kind of started working with business leaders at that enterprise or Fortune 500 level, the business degree did not take me as far as I thought it would. And I was understanding about half of what they were saying. So it was my way of trying to take also some of these high level business concepts, learn about what they are, and then in turn, hopefully make it accessible for my listeners and make it a little fun too, because we need a little more whimsy in our day-to-day life. And that's what I want.
Yeah. So tell me more about how did you get where you are now, and how did you find or even fall into the success you have?
Growing up, I was that theater kid. I was the performer. I was, can you tell? I was a Disney fan. I was the one that really loved speaking. I loved, my mom was a beautiful influence in my life, and she grew up very shy, and she didn't want that for me. So she would always kind of force me into random public speaking situations, even at like 3 years old. I don't know why. I remember being 3 and we're like at our little church Arabic community, like after Sunday hanging out, eating. And my mom like made me memorize this like poem in Arabic and like stand up on a chair. And like, I was 3, girl, stand up on a chair and then like recite this like poem to everybody there. And they were all like clapping and stuff. And I remember it, like, it's a very core memory for me. And I was nervous at first, but I may have also gotten addicted because I was kind of like, oh, they like me. Like, I think I like this. Like I did good or whatever. I did dance, I did ballet, and I wanted to work for Disney. I was a Disney Channel watcher of in the 2000s, That's So Raven, Lizzie McGuire. Like I wanted to be doing the Mickey sign on the TV and all of that. And I just wanted to be a performer in whatever capacity. So I really got into piano, and I was like, well, I got to be like this triple hitter. I got to be able to sing, dance, and talk, the whole package, right? Play music. And so I was playing piano and, all these things. And then I started doing it competitively as well. And I thought I was really, really good. And then I kind of went through this journey of like, well, maybe I should like write as well. And already we're seeing some if you're hearing this, you're hearing some red flags of who didn't tell this girl that she has ADHD yet. And then kind of high school is when things started getting a little difficult for me and my life. And I started realizing I wasn't a good dancer, and maybe I was like, kind of always been a little curvier, and I went to a private Catholic school, and I'm like Middle Eastern, and all I don't look like, like Princess Jasmine, like stereotypical, there's like certain things when you go into a school of people that don't really look like you or don't talk like you, and you start to compare yourself and get insecure, right? And in that time, I really felt like, okay, I'm not pretty enough to be a dancer, or I'm not cute enough to be a model, or like maybe these things that I like thought growing up aren't for me because I'm seeing the cute little blonde girls like around and whatever. So then freshman year, when my teacher asked me, first day of school, she asked everybody, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I was like, you know what? I want to be Oprah. I want to be Oprah when I grow up. And then like everyone laughed at me. And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, no, like I really feel like I want to talk to people and have a talk show. I can't dance. I'm like okay at piano. I'm not great, but I can talk. So then I kind of put that head mindset in my head away. Because what ended up happening is, my family actually, my dad was an entrepreneur, and he had this business. It was a country line dancing bar, and he later got like a restaurant. And in my head, I was like Paris Hilton of Jacksonville. Like that's what I thought I was. I thought I was all that in a bag of chips. And we had money and we were doing really well. And I was going to private school, and your girl was spoiled and ditzy as hell, like not in reality. So everything really changed though, unfortunately, when there was some circumstances that I don't even fully understand, but we fell on hard times. My dad lost the business. So he lost the business, and this was like junior year of high school for me. And reality hit real hard because it went from like, we're going to take care of you. You're not supposed to have a job. Like you're taken care of. You're good. To we're not good. And then senior year of high school, week of graduating, it all came to a head when we lost our home and we got foreclosed on. We lost everything. And my dad and my mom sat me down to tell me, we're sorry, we had to use your college fund. We can't help you. Good luck. So this whole dream of like, I'm going to work for Disney, I'm Paris Hilton, I'm all that in a bag of chips, I'm like in La La Lulu land or whatever. Life's great and all the roses. When I was 18, it was really hard because it turned into like this like, oh, maybe I can't do everything that I wanted to do. And now I have to suddenly figure out how to provide for myself and for my family. And I all the schools that I had wanted to go to were completely out of the picture because it was on me now to figure out how I was going to pay for myself to go to school. And I tell this story not to be like a boohoo sob story because much people have had it worse. But it's because when we talk about like an unconventional journey, like I told you earlier, Sarah, like you make plans and God laughs, right? And there can be points in life where you really think and you're in the thick of a hard time and you're really thinking to yourself, there's no possible way for me to do what I want to do. Like there's no hope. It's just not possible, right? And I felt that way at the time. Somehow was able to get into college on like a last minute like singing audition type of a thing. I went into the thick of trying to provide for them. I worked and got a job at BMW. I worked in automotive, and then I worked for Tesla, and I would like make my money and then, decide like, do I send some to them? Do I not? I felt lost. I felt really lost. I was literally working at this Tesla car service center, like singing Bell, like throughout the service shop. And the guys would be like, what are you doing? Like go front. Stop that. That's not professional. You know what I mean? And it got to a point where I was about 23 at this time, where I thought I was having a heart attack because I was so stressed and so unwell and so sad. I literally had like mascara tears like on my pillow, like dainted in, because I was just a sad girl. Like I was really not well.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to the ER because I thought I was having a heart attack. I came back after that the next day to work, and they were
Mm-hmm.
like, it was just anxiety. It's fine. And I told my team member or the manager at the time about this. And then one of my employees at the time said, well, welcome to Tesla. We've all been to the ER at least once. And
Boy.
that was the moment where I was like, what the F? Like,
Yeah.
what
This
am
ain't it.
I, this ain't it. I don't belong here. Cars are
Mm-hmm.
cute, but I want to ride a fancy one. I don't want to talk about them all the time. Like
Yeah.
what am I doing? Like I was in Tampa. I had moved away from my family. I was with this guy and I was just like, I'm not me. And I remember going through like this phase of like just feeling empty and lost and being like, there's no, like I wanted to go to UCF, audition to be a Disney cast member and be that girl. And I'm in a weird relationship right now where the guy kind of doesn't like me. I'm working at a car shop in Tesla, and I'm like semi trying to audition for Disney, but I was in such a bad headspace that the audition that I did, I literally went up to do the audition and I sang Law for 30 seconds because I forgot all of my lines and I was that unwell. Like I bold face went in and was like your girl was not well. Okay. And it took me coming back home, moving back in with my parents, us working on ourselves and our lives a little bit and healing to realize that the traditional path of whatever you're supposed to do, you graduate, you get a fancy job at a fancy company that like looks good on paper, wasn't for me. And I ended up basically just deciding that it was like after of course a very grueling breakup, it was like 2019, and I decided, you know what, this is going to be the year I try everything. I'm not going to be
Mm-hmm.
mean to myself. I'm just going to try and you everything possible and just figure out what I
Right.
like.
Well, and I think a lot of people go into that touchstone moment of this has to change, and
Mm-hmm.
especially when they told you, well, it's Tesla. We've all been to the ER. That's not acceptable. That's not okay.
No,
And
yeah, it's
normalizing it is not what we should do. Um, but I also think about it as like, at what point will you use that pain? And you can either, you know, run from it or you can rise and overcome it. And it sounds like you were able to rise and overcome it, which is amazing.
I appreciate that. And it's really cheesy because part of me didn't want to. I was like, the cheesy part is, of course, it's a Disney movie that inspired me to change my life, right? And I'm not even trying to be facetious, but there were a lot of people there at the time who were like, well, this is just the way life is. Like you
Hmm.
have the job that you don't like, you take the vacations to like recover from it, and then you just come
Yeah.
back. And I wanted a life that I didn't have to take a vacation from in order to live.
Yeah. And I remember hearing somebody say, well, everybody hates their job. And somebody else said, I don't hate my job.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
very interesting of like, oh, I don't have to hate what I do.
Yeah, like
And
the thing that
yeah,
you do 90% of your life. Like
yeah,
you want to wake up and like hate your existence. Like that's what it
yeah.
felt like. If I hate my job, I hate what I do. And I went to watch Moana had just come out at the time. And I she talks about in the movie how the story is she has people around her that tell her this is what you have to do, but she had this calling for something else to explore.
Hmm.
She had to see what else was out there for her. And I just sat there sobbing in the theater like a baby because I was like, wait, I think I have to go on my own little journey and figure out what it is that I want to do. Because my whole life I've done things because what my partner thinks or help my
Hmm.
family out or what society tells me that me as a woman and that needs to be successful, what I think I should be and do. And
Hmm.
I'm just not that. And it's going to be messy and it's going to be weird. And so when I moved back, I did every odd end job possible. I was a tanning salon person that, bless you guys that hired me. You should not have hired me. I gave some really bad spray tans when I was there. I taught preschool and kindergarten to kids because I love kids. So I thought I wanted to do that. I taught freaking music and piano because I was like, well, maybe, it was a combination of like teaching and doing. And it wasn't until I landed this this job which I didn't even think was a job at the time, to create videos for a local law firm, that I did every possible thing. And it wasn't until that moment I saw a random posting on Craigslist of all places that this little local law firm needed like help with content. And I was like, ooh, I like content. Like this whole hobby of performing and stuff. Like, what I didn't tell you is that I would film this stuff with my friends. Like, we would make these videos. Like, I'm sure maybe you did as well growing up, but like we'd record these little silly videos of us, like, some of them never got posted, and we were just like making them and editing them, like one on my mom's camcorder, one on my iMac later. And we would make stuff and I would edit it and I would love it. And I just like had this thing that was a skill that at the time I didn't even know was a skill. I thought it was just this little silly little thing that I did. So I showed up to the project, which I thought it was just a project. It was supposed to be a week long. And the attorney, her name was Kelsey. Kelsey, you're amazing. Shout out Kelsey. She was like, so I need a bunch of videos, and we just don't have the budget for a full videographer right now. So we want to put them on our website. Like, what can you do? I'll pay you $1,000. What can you do? And I was like, just recent graduate from, like, about to graduate from college. Like, I'll do it. I don't know. In my head, I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I need $1,000. Like, I'm broke. I just left this crazy nice job to live with my family. And girl, when I tell you, I straight up came with like my iPhone, what was an iPhone 6 or 7 at the time? Lav mic for like $20 from like Amazon, and an actual lamp from Walmart, like an actual, like a living room lamp. Like, this woman, she should have judged the heck out of me. And she just was like, all right, bet, like, do what you gotta do. And I put this old big ass lamp in my Honda 2006 Accord and drove up. And in a few days, we filmed the video content, and my brother and I spent a week editing them together because she gave me a deadline, and I was like, we got to get this done. And I didn't realize like how much content it was. So I kind of like employed my little brother to like help me. Like, we edited it together. And we made some really awesome video content for, at the time, I'm critical of it now, but at the time it was really good for her website. And she offered me a job on the spot, and I became a part-time content, social media / receptionist person when I was there. It only takes one person to believe in you at your weakest and your lowest point in order for you to start going from unhappy to happy in your life. And this was a woman who owned her own business, who ran this law firm, who truly taught me so much and gave me so much grace in the beginning of my journey that I just hope for everyone who's listening, if you're lost, you find that person who gives you that time of day to believe in you and create or do what it is that you want to do.
So my husband and I, we have a 5-year-old and we have an almost 1-year-old, and the 5-year-old loves to sing. He's a big Disney nut, of course. Elsa is like his favorite princess. I mean, Idina Menzel has to be. And so, yeah. And so my husband is very musical, and I am not any of that. And I can't carry a tune in a bucket. So I always sing very loudly. And so I always tell my husband, my kid, I'm like, well, if you can't be good, you can at least be loud.
You can at least be loud. There you go, girl. I like that, actually. Loud and proud. Loud and proud. Yeah. Well, because it's about having fun at the end of the day, right? Like that. And that's, that's one of my core values in business is fun, because there's just so many opportunities in life where, from my past, as you've heard, is people really try to take the fun out of the day to day. And I'm like, if I'm not saving lives and I'm not changing the world, like, it's not that serious. Like, we can have a giggle or two, like, in the day to day. This is at least what I think.
I used to work with somebody who would always say, "This isn't rocket surgery. We'll be
Yes.
fine."
Yes.
So,
Absolutely. So at some point, I realized I guess I like marketing and I like content, and I started making YouTube videos for them for her channel. Um, but the positive defining moment was she was invited to be a guest on a radio show for SiriusXM, and it was like a big deal. And she gave me the opportunity to she flew me out with her for this interview to obviously capture content for social, right? Because I'm like filming behind the scenes stuff or whatever. So we're out there, we're sitting in the like area of this station. And then the second we walk in and those Sirius XM doors opened of this radio station or whatever, when I tell you it was the most joy and pure happiness that I've ever felt, that I had felt since I was that little girl, like spinning around and, doing my thing. Like it was just this moment of like, I don't know what this is. And I don't know what this business is, and I don't know what's going on, but I am just unbelievably happy here. And I love this. I want this. Like, what is this world? Right? You know what I mean? So, we do the interview with them and I'm looking at their soundboard and I'm looking at their podcast equipment and I'm just like, yo, like, what do I want to work in radio? You know what I mean? Is that what I want to do? And it ended up being that like, podcasts at the time were still like kind of like not, well, they weren't very mainstream. So I started like, maybe researching it to see if I could do one for the law firm. I really wanted to pursue podcasting, or because I'm a Gemini and I have to have two ideas at the same time, or I wanted to work for Disney because it was like my last shot.
right.
So 2020, I put two applications in. I put one for the Disney College program because you're allowed to work as an intern there, even after you've graduated, as long as it's one semester after. And then secondarily, I put in an application for a marketing agency that did podcast production, and it was a fully remote role. So
Cool.
applied for both. I got both. Went to my mom. I went to my mom and I was like, what do I do? At this point, it's February 2020. This is very important. So, because COVID like happened that year. I don't know if you knew that or not, but I don't know if you like heard, but it was a whole thing. But yeah, so I told my mom I got accepted to be do this Disney College program. And she's like, I don't think you should do it. And I was like, what? Did I hear that right? Like, do you not know me? She's like, I just have a feeling. And I could have been like sassy, like I really wanted to be. But I also feel like my mom has this like weird, like somewhat connection to I don't know what. And usually her gut feelings are right. So I said, oh, I really hate this, but I guess I'll say no to them. Oh my God, this is awful. Wow. So I said no, I didn't follow through, and I accepted the remote position at this agency. And 2 weeks later, everyone that got accepted in my cohort for the college program got sent back because of COVID. And I started my podcast production journey. I filled out the application thinking it was a joke, and I was sending in the parodies that I had made for the law firm and like all this crazy content that I had made there. And that was when my podcasting journey started. And 2 weeks later, they sat me down and they were like, all right, you got to launch 8 shows. Here you go.
Wow.
So we went from 0 to 100 real quick, and faced with these really fancy brands, like big companies. And I'm like, y'all know that I made like YouTube parodies at this place, right? Like I just started here. Like, so I was teaching myself podcasting and learning a few things for them while I was launching them for these big brands. And that summer I launched 8 podcasts in the B2B space. And, I launched my show after that because I didn't know what the heck they were talking about. And now I have my business, and the rest is history.
That's amazing. So what are 3 things that you want people walking away from this episode to know? Like either about podcasting in general, in their journey from unconventional pathways, or about you?
Thank you for asking. That's a great question. I think the first thing that I want people to know is if you are listening to this and you feel like you're in that weird era of trying everything and you're not really sure what you want to do, instead of being negative to yourself and feeling like I'm a failure, I'm not doing anything right, why am I doing this? Like, what's my purpose in life? Try to gamify it for a little bit and think to yourself, well, I'm not lost. I'm just on a side quest. Because now when I look back at my life, I'm so blessed to realize that every experience that I've had, no matter how weird or outlandish or out of pocket it seemed at the time, all taught me something that I can now use in my day-to-day life as a business owner. And running a business isn't easy. And had I not worked the jobs that I did and learned about customer experience or service, customer service jobs teach you so much about like how to deal with people or,
Yeah.
uh, working with kids. I learned a lot about teaching and that helped me to be a better coach when I work with my people. Working at a law firm and doing content there taught me about sales and business relationships and unconventional, like kind of gritty marketing, like boots on the ground type stuff. So all those things taught me different things in life. And if you're listening and you're feeling like you just don't know what you're doing, realize that you'll come back to what you're meant to do. And often than not, what it is that you are meant to do is the thing that you wanted to do deep down in your heart in some capacity when you were like in high school. I knew what I wanted to do when I was in high school. I wanted to be Oprah. And maybe that looks different now for me, but that's my own variation of it, I guess. And I guess secondarily, I wouldn't be where I am today if it weren't for the people around me. I didn't do this alone. I'm not going to come on this podcast and act like, yeah, it was all me. I'm awesome. And I did this and I did that. I'm truly where I am today because of my intentionality to build relationships and connect with people around me. And just like Kelsey and so many other people in my life that brought me to where I am today, those friendships and those business relationships, those mentors, those friends, those families that were positive and holding me up and cheering me on, like those people that gave me the opportunities, those are the reasons why I'm still here. And I don't think anyone can be successful in life doing this alone. You really have to be brave and reach out and just try to network. And for me, podcasting helped me have a vehicle to meet new people in a safe, like kind of comfy environment for me so that I could build those relationships for myself. So yeah, you don't have, so one, I said, number one, you
Side
are
quest.
not lost. You're on a side quest. Number two, don't go on your side quest alone. Find adventure buddies. And then three, you might need a magic potion to help you along the way. And my magic potion and unlock was realizing a couple years into the agency that I had ADHD. I got diagnosed when I was like 25 because I suddenly didn't know, like my brain was just like, we're exploding. Where and what is everything? And for me, when I finally got the actual care that I needed and sought out mental health practitioner and got the medication that I needed that worked for me personally. And I healed from all that other stuff that happened before. I finally gave myself the opportunity to not only have grace for myself, but really better understand who I am and take care of myself. So find the magic potion, whatever that is, to take better care of yourself, because if you don't love yourself, and you're not your own cheerleader on the journey that you're going to go on, then you might not finish. So
yeah,
those are my three things.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. I'm so glad we could have you today, Rita.
Thank you so much, Sarah. This was awesome. I really appreciate you listening to me and being a great host. So
thank you. Well, we will see you next time. And where can we find you?
Find me on LinkedIn. My name, Rita Richa. If you search it, you can find me. Or if you want to do some more Disney adult nerding out and you're that kind of person, go to Bippity Boppity Biz, B-I-Z, bippityboppitybiz.com.
Wonderful. So go and listen to Rita's podcast and get all the hot tips on storytelling for your business. So thank you.
Thank you.